And we're off to a great start. Hey everyone, we're live.
Oh, we're live?
Hello.
Woo! Yay. Amazing.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to tell Omar that I'm Iron Man.
Omar, I always thought you as more of a Obadiah kind of guy, Atila.
What?
Ooh.
That's...
Oh, let the roasting start.
You already started as a roast.
Okay.
Doesn't he has the same name as you? Isn't he Josh something?
It was Obadiah Crane. Am I
Obadiah
mistaking that?
No, Jeff Bridges. Yeah. No, the actor, I mean.
Oh, Jeff
Yeah.
Bridges. No, it's Jeff Bridges.
It's Jeff Bridges. I thought it was like Josh something.
You all know too much about Marvel Universe.
You might have been thinking about Josh Brolin, actually.
That's Thanos.
That's
because you were
Thanos.
saying you're Thanos.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
See, the metaphor keeps connecting.
Yeah, like you really made me... I completely forgot about the cap thing. But why am I cap outside of Mjolnir? That thing is annoying.
I wrote that tweet and I didn't want to be captain. My son said to Elian that he looked like Thor.
So I just get the rest. Okay.
You're captain.
Okay.
You have no
Thus
choice.
it shall be so.
I think that
When you write the tweet, you can decide.
Okay. I don't think I even have I have Captain America stuff here. I do. There's like a pot there. Which in all
I don't think there is.
I didn't buy.
I don't think there is a single superhero that you don't have stuff from.
There it is. Wait.
Squirrel person.
Squirrel Girl. There's Squirrel Girl, but I don't think I have a pop of Squirrel Girl yet.
That actually
Squirrel
exists.
There is
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, it does.
Squirrel Girl beat Thanos once. That's actually a fun story.
Yeah. She took the Ant-Man strategy, right?
No, I think like it was sheer strength. I don't remember the comic.
Josh, what's the Ant-Man strategy?
Are you going to say it?
No.
Well,
hello to the chat.
Send
Senania, welcome. If you were a superhero, which one would you be? I swear to God, if you say Ant-Man.
Atila, do you want to see what I just got last week? I didn't buy. It was actually like a Valentine's Day gift from me.
Okay.
To me, from my fiance.
Oh, nice.
I'm Luffy now.
It is from One Piece, right?
Yes.
One Piece.
Yes.
One Piece. It's Luffy's hat.
Also,
really
guys,
happy.
you are not going to believe me. I'm drinking tea.
Tea.
Yeah.
You're gonna spill the tea?
I'm drinking coffee, though I shouldn't
That's why.
anymore.
I'm drinking water. Hydration. Proper hydration.
Proper hydration. Oof.
It leads to streaming.
Inevitably.
Inevitably. That's right.
You know what's
And
also...
also hydration, yes, but partially.
You know what's also inevitable? Thanos. Thanos is inevitable. But wait,
Hancock, as in Will
Hancock.
Smith's Hancock, or is in
Or
Boa
Boa
Hancock
Hancock.
because he had the One Piece hat?
that's probably a good. I also thought about the same thing. But Hancock is
Also-
actually an underrated movie. It's really good.
Isn't there like a second one coming out? I saw something about that happening.
I don't know. I've seen something about that as well, but I don't think if after the Oscars thing it went on.
He's
Yeah,
gonna slap someone.
Mm.
I don't think it's still
Yeah.
happening. I think the Oscars thing kind of...
Oh well.
Should be
Shut
Hancock in the
Oh,
power of the
right.
super
It was
slap.
two
But also, to be honest, like Hancock is kind of a dicky person, so
Yeah, I think he literally
Stay
did something
quick.
like that on the movie as well. So
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
look, it's 10:35 my time, 35 something or other on your times. I think this is a good starting point to do our introductions. So hello everyone, my name's Josh. This is a 4-person stream. I've never tried this before. Please let us know if like the mic levels are off, or if you can't hear us, or if the stream crashes or something. Half the software we're using is in beta. Shout out Twitch Stream Together. But yeah, let's go through our introductions in alphabetical order by first name.
okay,
Atila,
so
who are you?
Then it's me. Yeah. So I'm Atila or Atila or whatever is easier for you to say. And I guess I'm here because I'm part of the Solid DX team, as is Daniel. And well, Josh's website is Astro with Solid or Solid with Astro, depends if you ask Elian. We're gonna get to that. So yeah, but I'm here more with questions and whatever else. So yeah, I do some solid stuff. I'm actually Daniel and I are actually working on the solid docs. So we've been pretty deep into solid start and pretty familiar with beta stuff, if you know what I mean. I work at Crab Nebula, which also does a little bit of open source. So we are some of the people behind Tori, which is a framework for creating hybrid apps. So yeah, I played around with a few different frameworks, and I guess that's it about me. Next should be Daniel, right? Yeah.
Alphabetically, yes, I think it is.
I
Yes.
was doing the ABC in my head now.
I was like,
Yeah.
Elian is first, and I'm like, wait, no, I don't think that's how it works.
Nope.
Okay, so my introduction. I'm Daniel Afonso. I'm from Portugal. I'm living in Portugal. I'm like Atila. I'm part of the Solid DX team, which is something pretty cool that's been happening into our lives in the last couple of months and stuff. And I think that pitch Attila already did. So I'm going to continue to the next part. I'm working as a developer advocate at this company called OLX. And aside from that and all those cool things, I really like comic books and nerdy stuff. So I'll probably be the person that's going to drop a lot of pop culture references outside of Attila, who also does that a lot. So, and that's it, I think. I'm not good at introductions and I get nervous in introductions for some reason. That's a learning factor about me. I'm passing it over to Elian.
Yes, I'm also very bad at introductions. I typically don't really do those. I'm Elian. I work on a project called Astro. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you don't. Great learning possibility here on the stream. I also co-host a podcast and conferences called BEGS, which stands for Belgium JavaScript. All of the fellow speakers here or fellow people on the stream have been on both the podcast and speaking at the conferences. So it's amazing that you all are here. And I think that's basically what I do. So yeah, throw it over to Josh.
Cool. Hi. Thanks so much, guys. I don't do Astro or Solid, which makes me, I think, relatively unique here in that I don't touch stuff that people actually like or enjoy using. I work typically on dev tooling, so TypeScript ESLint and related tooling.
Then Josh went down.
Did the person that's streaming went down? How is this working?
Did I go down?
No,
What?
no, I still see Josh. What's happening?
You do?
Is this a prank? Are you pranking?
No. It was me and Elian
Is this clowning?
Josh literally crashed for us. At least for me, he did.
No.
What?
Smooth as butter to me.
Now he's back. No, now Josh is back. But for a
Great
minute,
technology. Yes, you're all back for me now. Yay!
This offers in beta. Yeah. All right. Well,
That was really
Great.
suspicious.
Love it. So yeah, I was sharing earlier, then I realized I should probably switch to the person tiled. Now I'm going to go back to screen share, but I have a personal site that's built. The framework is Astro. So like it's an Astro site, and then I used a lot of solid JS in it. Some, perhaps one or three people on the stream would say too much solid in the design of my site. I also used TypeScript because I like TypeScript. So the context for this is that the four of us chat sometimes, and one or three of the people here may have taken a look at my site because I was complaining about how I couldn't get something to work. Noticed that I wasn't using the recommended Astro way to do that thing. Then took a deeper look and noticed I was doing really bad stuff all over the place, such that the site is poorly typed, has weird little bugs. Like if you switch between pages, there's like flickering and stuff that's not supposed to be there. Yeah, so it's not great. Do any of you in particular want to start guiding me through the code, navigating me as I show off how poorly done all sorts of stuff is?
Yeah, sure. Let's first of all start by opening up the code, and just take a look at your first page, the index page, and let's just take a look at what's happening and how it's structured, and then we can go. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Astro, what happens here? Anything at the top dashes there in the front matter is everything that happens server side always. There you can import components, write TypeScript, whatever. Then everything below is basically a dialect of JSX where you can write your page and define how it looks, import other components, whatever. So whatever happens here, Josh, maybe you should try to guide us through it, and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Sure. Sorry, let me I just someone in the chat noted that I wasn't sharing the actual stream. So yeah, where am I going?
Just talk us through this page. What's happening on the page? Why did you
Sure.
do it like this?
So yeah, so the way that my site works, I'll show it left and right generally, is that I have 4 different pages. Book is an external link. So index, blog, gold blog, projects and speaking. Each of them has basically the same starting layout and then some content below that. 3 of them have like some kind of list or tabbed sections. The homepage doesn't. It's just text. So I made a hero layout, which takes in like the details for the primary text or heading, the text there, and then the image, and then it has like some content inside it. I also have these little redirects because my old site on HTML used to use hashtags, and I'll probably remove it later this year. Soon. Yeah. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, exactly. And you use the script tag there, and you use below style to inline style, basically. In component style, everything. But you also use a lot of CSS modules, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of them.
A lot of them. So the idea here, and by the way, this is going to be a repeated thing on the stream. I'm going to say what I did, and I'm not going to stand by it. Is that the Astro components generally
he was preparing himself for the interfaces chat already.
Yeah. No, actually, I do stand by that one. It's you who I will argue with. Anyway, so I have a lot of like random little components trying to find them. Oh yeah, here one where it's solid, and instead of using like inline style tags for the solid ones, I use CSS modules. Yeah. And the reason why I set this up this way, this is more scaled than a personal website like mine really needs. But I really like design systems, and I wanted to make it so that I could do like a pseudo design system, like box component models is like the common term for this, where you like have a general component like text, and you can say what the tag is. You can give it like some custom CSS, but really what you're mostly using is like props that are well typed to indicate its like basic design system token attributes.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. Well, does it make sense? There is just a couple of things.
Those components are Astro components?
Depends which ones.
I believe for the most part, the design system-y ones are solid. And the reason why so many of them are solid, not Astro, is because I wanted interactivity with like these nice little tab friends. And I didn't know how to do that well in Astro, so I just moved everything to solid.
So your text component is interactive?
No, but the tabs that render the text are interactive.
Yeah.
Not really. If you that's ideally what it would be, yes. But I think if you go back to your hero layout or whatever, there is some first component that you call client load on, and it's quite a high level component, which means that everything underneath, all of those get hydrated, which isn't really needed. Yeah, so if you, for instance, blog is a perfect instance here. Yes. So this means that everything in your blog group is all hydrated down the tree, which is actually not really useful in this sense, because you actually only want the tab component to be interactive, and then everything else should be static in a sense. You could do this, and this can be an okay thing if you want your majority of your website to be interactive, but you don't. Problem here, for instance, is that you lose a lot of the optimizations that Astro will do for you. For instance, if you go back to your live website and you go to the blog, you will see that a lot of the images are really, really slow. If you start scrolling, sometimes, like I was in Turkey in a hotel, 3G connection. I was waiting for ages on images. And actually, what Astro does for you, we have a virtual module called Astro Assets. And we actually take all of your raw or even remote images and then transform them to the lowest, well, the best quality with the lowest output size possible. So WebP and AVIF. So ideally, you would do that. But the problem is, since you're hydrating down the tree, you are not able to use an Astro image because it's an Astro component and you cannot import Astro components into Solid. That only goes one way. So that's a problem that you lose. Also, your RSS feed is linked here. So if you go to your RSS, it's also in the block, in the code. Yeah, it renders out fine. That's not a problem. I mean, in the code itself, you have RSS dot, what's it called? It's the, yes, that. You see what you're doing there? So you do await pages glob to RSS items, but you have a content collection. So why are you using a glob?
I don't know.
Yes, and we have that in the docs straight laid out for you. Are you using content collections? You should use this. If you are not using content collections, then you should use a glob, because a glob is way, way slower because it walks down the tree, the file tree, I mean. Whereas a content collection is basically something that we already have ready in memory and goes way faster. So that's a couple of images. To switch that, you could you literally go to the docs of Astro. You can instantly see what's going wrong. And then you just type RSS and you'll find it.
Beautiful. It must be so painful to you that you did. This is a compliment. You've done such a good job on these docs, and then
thank you.
It's just not used on my site.
Yeah, exactly. But you see in the docs, so we have these headers, and one of them is generating items, and then we have under that using content collections and using glob. You're using a content collection, so you could just have done this instead of the whole thing that you're doing, which is way more difficult. And then you just map over the items.
Wow.
I know.
All right. I'm just gonna. Here we go. Just copying over. Got my fancy schmancy linting. Oh yeah, I have all sorts of linting on this repo, so it sorts by alphabetical.
That was something that actually caught my attention when Elian brought up that though you're using the image tag element component, you're bailing out of the optimization from Astro because you're using that inside Solid app. Because when I went to your website, I realized the images were taking long, and I said, "Oh my god, what did Josh do?" Then I went to the source code and said, "Oh, but he's using the image component." So, and then I started going down I started chasing the rabbit, and I saw said, "Okay, so where's he hosting this? Is he hosting like in his basement or something?" And then I saw, no, it's Cloudflare. So I said, what the heck? And then I kept seeing, and the CDN was actually close to me and all that. So that's not something that I was actually aware of. That though I'm definitely not a Solid expert, I have Solid on. I have not an Astro expert. I have Astro on my personal website, and that's it. And we also have it at work some places. But anyways, so wouldn't that be kind of a nice ESLint rule to have for Astro apps, that when you're using the image tag and you import that in an island, it lets you know, hey, just a heads up, you're bailing out of optimizations because you're doing it like this?
Yes. Actually, it kind of exists, but Josh isn't on Astro 4 yet, I think. which means that he has no accessibility ruling that we actually built in our DevTools.
Oh,
And also we have Astro Check, which is basically our Astro linter built in our build. He also doesn't enable that, because if he does, he gets 1,000 errors. Maybe you should try it to just show people what's going on. So,
all right. Hang on a second. I gotta start making some granular commits here. By the way, I do want to shout out a few things in the chat before we continue. First of all, KierJS, hello again. Nice to see you again. Thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Sinania, am I pronouncing that right? Great question so far. Was asking if there's any kind of global state, and then recommendations around light mode, dark mode. I did light mode, dark mode. You can see it in the code. I don't stand by the code, so we'll almost certainly get to it. Just by virtue of going through the code base, because I did some funky stuff. But if anyone's curious, I just pinned the repo link in the Twitch stream chat. And I'm also making a PR, work in progress, improvements from the Twitch stream that I'll also put in the chat. Okay. And also, for the record, I would love all these great tools. I just hadn't had time to investigate things like Astro Check. So I'm very excited about this. So preliminary thanks for all the stuff already. And
I feel like
is
is just like, I still have more points. Let me continue bashing.
No, it's fine. But the problem is that once you enable Astro Check, of course, you will have 1,000 errors, and you will lose way too much time on trying to find each and every one of them, and you will basically have to restructure the whole website, and that's not something that we'll be able to do in an hour on stream. But it's just a good thing to know that it is there, and it's there to help you. So you probably should learn how to use it, and then you can investigate on yourself to check it later. But basically, go to package.json, and what we do now, because you started probably a little bit earlier. Oh, you do have Astro 4, so you do have the DevTools. Yeah, I can see them. Like the middle of your preview window, you can see this. How is it called? This DevTool thing? Toolbar. Overlay. Yes, that's it. Yes. If you click on that and you click on the accessibility audit, that will show you what problems there is, if there are any, of course. And we actually just improved those with Astro 4.4 last week. We have now a couple more. Okay, but let's first start with Astro Check. So you have the Astro build command. So your pnpm build command or npm run build, whatever. What we actually do now, if you bootstrap a new app, is Astro Check and Astro build. So you can just type Astro Check before it.
Like this?
Yeah.
Like is it analogous to the other lint commands that I have already?
Probably not. Let's see how it's going to work differently. But run it. Okay. It will probably tell you to install Astro Check and TypeScript.
So just to be clear, what would you suggest I call the command? I didn't parse that out.
What?
Sorry, I like having well-organized package scripts. What would you personally suggest that I call the command?
What do you call the command? Well, actually, we use it in build. So for us, it's Astro build. It's an extension on it. So we do Astro Check and Astro build in one command. But you don't have to do that, because if you do it, you won't ever be able to build your website again.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because he has a lot of TypeScript errors.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure? Because it tells me I have 0 errors, 0, 1, and 0 hints.
That is weird, because when I ran it... Do it again?
He fixed all the errors.
Maybe he did.
What is prank?
I tried it locally and didn't work at all.
Wait, do I need pnpm dev or build?
No, you shouldn't.
I think the TypeScript compiler is just afraid of Josh.
That might be it.
That
might be it.
What are those sunglasses?
Well, if you don't have any now, that's fine.
I had to deal with it because I thought you had fixed the TypeScript errors just to make Elian lose face on the stream.
Honestly, I wish I'd thought of that. Just pulling an all-nighter and fixing everything to be perfect for the stream.
I know he did. He did. Because when I generated it for the first time, I got like
what if he just switched the presets? Which Astro preset are you using in your TS config?
Probably none.
No, I think he's in the strictest. Yeah, because
For
he
what it's
was.
worth.
I saw some no checks on his types. Like he put the optional and undefined. Not no checks. What's the name of that check? When optional is not the same as undefined.
So there's nullish coalescing, the question mark. There's optional chaining, question mark dot. There's a non-null assertion operator. And then there are
No.
non-null
You're talking about
assertions.
JavaScript. I'm talking about TypeScript. Like when because on the not on the strictest Astro, you can have an optional prop, and then you don't need to type it as undefined as well, because undefined is and optional are the same. But there's a TypeScript lint rule that you make them not be the same.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
This might be a byproduct of
Exactly.
enabling exact optional property types.
Exactly. So that one only exists on Astro strictest, and I saw that on your code. So
anyways. Yeah, that might be.
Okay.
Well, in any case, if this works, great, good.
Is there like a clean or something I can run rf.astro?
Yeah, that you could try.
Because for what it's worth, I normally do try to get 0 type errors when I build and like develop locally. Like it was surprising to me to hear that I might have 1 million of them.
Yeah, but maybe it was my computer at that time just fucking up. That could be it. Also, I upgraded your dependencies. So not all dependencies, but the Astro dependencies, which you can do by running pnpm dlx @astro.js/upgrade.
What was it after DLX?
Why would you do that instead of the pnpm up.interactive?
Because it only upgrades your Astro things, and it will tell you if there is breaking changes. It's pnpm dlx @astro.js/upgrade.
These Astro guys are so territorialists. Update all the dependencies, man.
No, because it's not the same.
One package has breaking changes. Wow. Solid.js.
By the way, I love this. I wish one of these days I'm going to have the time to ask, like, to pester you all to make that a standalone thing that I can use in my packages. That little.
It is.
There
is. It's clack.cc.
Wait, hang on. I use clack. Where is the?
No, it's not clack. There's another
clack.
one. I think was it Nate who did it? I was actually looking at it. I was using it in one of my packages.
Yeah, it's clack. Nate built clack.
Is it clack the name?
Yeah.
Because why? There is one that is less opinionated, and there is another one that's more opinionated.
Okay.
Could be.
Let me see. I'm looking for it. Keep going. I'm gonna find it.
If you don't have any errors now, Josh, then we're good to go. Aha. So that explains why I saw them. And that's what happens here. So now we will show you where you have all these any's because you typed everything again and again and again, and you lose types along the way. So now fix it. No, it's super annoying to fix. I've been looking for it. Yeah.
All right, wait. So here it's saying that the schema, the pub date on the blog post is optional, whereas in date, time, and minutes, date is required.
And you know why that is? I noted why that is. I did a little bit of research. It is because you're using the RSS schema to extend your content collections. So if you go to your config.ts there you see RSS schema.extend, and actually that's something I think we should build in, I guess, is that RSS schema accepts that you don't have a published date. But you can enforce that by saying if it's null, return whatever or something. But that's a little bit annoying. It shouldn't fail, at least on that.
Can I do pub date like z.dates something like that?
Yeah. I think it should.
There we go. And then title is also required.
Yep.
Okay. So That was nice.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Woo! So that was a quick one.
Can
So
we
now what
take
you-
a moment to point out that Elian was being extremely dramatic with the amount
was.
of linting errors?
No. There were 42.
There were 8 at the end.
He just fixed them by 2 lines, but that's not the relevant thing. It's Josh, who is this TypeScript guru, and then has types. Well, there is a lot of more problems to come, but
Shout
That's
out,
for
by the way, a
later.
few things. Yeah, before we get into those, a few just building up things in the chat. Hello, Oddlord and AE517. Welcome. Nicholas Wortman, I don't know what you're talking about. I had no errors. You remember nothing. And Learner, hello, good to see you. And thank you, Bryce Guy. Good call. I should have probably thought to check out this site, like run it locally before pushing this behavior change to my GitHub repo. So nice. There we go. z.coerce.date, because it's not a date inherently, it's like a date like string typically in the storage.
yeah, makes sense. Oh, actually, coerce is better. Yeah, I always used to do a transform on strings. Okay, makes sense.
Really useful.
Okay,
Hashtag ship it.
I'm thinking what else problems we saw or what I saw. Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
the images, but the images is probably not something that we can fix right now, since you're not using Astro assets and you're all the way down in your, let's say, battlefield of solid components. But one thing that I did note that you are not using is if you go to take any blog post where you are using images.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So what you do is all of the images that you have are this labeled images component.
Yes.
Yes. That will work. I mean, sure. But you're using a normal image there. You should use image with a capital I imported from Astro assets, which will give you that optimization I was talking about earlier. Wrong one. Image from Astro assets. Yes, that one. No, it's image.
Oh,
Yes. Good. And then it will tell you what problems it has. Wait, you just add infer size, which basically tells you, hey, this is an image I don't know. No, it's infer size. Yes. Infer and then size. It should autocomplete actually. Yes, and that should tell you the size normally.
Astro 403.
4.4. Astro 4.4.
Oh, I need to
it
restart
should-
my
it should be
TS
there.
server.
Probably.
Reload window. Let's. Oh, maybe I need to PMP.
You can restart Volar as well.
Oh, right. Y'all have that thing.
Yes.
I
use Volar.
restarted, reinstalled the
What?
dependencies.
What's
Mhm.
Volar?
A language server provider. Yes, that's it. Yes. So what infer size actually does is, hey, I don't know where this image is coming from. In this case, it can be a remote image because you do weird shit with the types like astro.props.src or .src, or maybe it's a string. Who knows? So in this case, you're telling it to infer the size, which is the size that it fetches from the remote. What do you actually want to do? So if you go back to index.mdx there, you could actually just use images natively in your Markdown file, and you import them from your assets folder, which is a folder under src. And then everything under src/assets automatically will, yes, you see what happens? So, yeah, yes, wait, yes. Yes.
Why do I have that? Did I start? I think I started the migration and then just. Oh yeah, this has just been sitting there for a while. By the way, this
Yeah.
is one of my favorite images of all time. I love this image so much. All right, so we got.
So
this is
you could
fine
do that. But
assets.
yes, I just noticed that you still load a lot of images from public, which don't undergo any kind of transformation or optimization, whereas everything under asset/source, or even under your content folder or blog folder, everything in source basically will undergo that optimization. So yeah. And yes, the Luminary of Astro is here. Woo! Thank you, Kevin, for reminding me of that.
Okay, so
So that should already give you some pointers. Yeah. No, it won't work like that. You just use it as a normal image tag in Markdown. So the bang, and then the square brackets, and then you say the alt, and then you say the source. The fuck are you doing, Josh?
You just how to do the.
I don't think I've ever seen Elian be this mean.
Oh, sorry. I know. Yes,
face.
and now you just write the path. Now you write just the normal path. Now, Josh, you're doing great. You're doing great, buddy.
Okay.
Wait, it says with a knife in the end.
Oh, how do I? Is there like a nice way to do?
But this isn't a remote image. That's probably coming from labeled images. Can you check the error again? Because you clicked it away before I could read something. But we'll tell you what's wrong.
I did. Have that habit.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're using. Yes, you're not using infer size, but you are actually doing that, right? Or maybe it's somewhere else down the tree that you're doing that.
Let me just undo everything we did here. Image.
Oh yeah, you can totally do that and check it.
Image for size. Is there a way to comment?
Yes, but yeah. Aha!
Wow.
So now you see the image, but if you inspect the source for the image, if you build your website, maybe build and preview, maybe that goes a little bit quicker. You'll see that it will undergo like a transformation and optimization.
Ooh, that's very exciting. Is there?
It'll actually
one of the reasons...
also. Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, you.
It's actually not an espresso cup, by the way. This is a teacup. This is a traditional Japanese teacup. And I'm also drinking tea. Yes, go ahead, Josh.
Beautiful pot.
Thanks.
So if I wanted, so one of the reasons why I did like labeled image and stuff was to have like these nice little props. Like there's a standardized little description and optional.
Yeah,
something I can do in this system.
Yes, and then you use the image from Astro Assets. That's what I was telling you. So if you could fix that, but if you just want a normal image to display in your Markdown, you could just do it in a normal way and still have the same optimizations without having to have a custom component referred to every time.
Got it.
That's basically it.
So could I do like what's on the screen now, where like I pass the assets-based source?
That would be the easiest, yes. But the problem is, well, let's try it. We'll see. The problem is that you're using that same label image thing everywhere. So everyone already knows me by the beer time. No, I don't have a beer yet. Sorry. It's 5 here, so I should have a beer, but I don't today.
Got it. So yeah, the problem here is that I have like 50 million labeled images.
Yes, and then you should check on those, and yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fork it, and then just use the fork for this one place.
This may be a good idea.
Why don't you just find and replace them?
That scares me.
It's not as fun.
No, when I was working on Josh's code, I was also doing it. Okay, wait, Josh. Before you go any further, wait. Let me explain you a couple of things. So we have... And stop laughing at me, Daniel. Otherwise, I'll start roasting your website. It's also built on Astro, isn't it?
Definitely.
Sorry,
You're next.
Yeah. Wanna have you? Okay. So you now have this labeled image better that you're loading, right?
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. I think Elian is just having beer withdrawal now.
Someone get Elian a beer before you roast the chat.
I'm gonna walk out. What's happening?
Get this man a Budweiser.
Do you want me
But
to get
the-
angry? Because if you say
it
Budweiser,
just
I'll
gets
get angry.
angrier.
I think Elian is not Thor. He's actually the Hulk at this point.
All right.
Okay,
So,
Josh,
Someone's asking in the
Before
chat.
Divine Fumbles wants a breakdown, can we do a recap on what's happening?
Yes. So what's happening is there's a pin message in the chat that has my website repo and then a pull request that we are occasionally updating with new things. My website is built on Solid and Astro, or Astro and Solid. And objectively speaking, I did not do a good job of writing good Solid and Astro code. Like I rushed through it. I didn't read the docs very well. And these three people with me, among other things, work on the docs for Solid or Astro. So this is the most kind, gentle, destroy my code and critique me personally and professionally stream that I've ever done. So yeah, right now we're going through image assets. Astro has a whole system for images and assets that'll optimize them nicely for you and help you have like good SEO and performance and accessibility. And I just did not use it. And now, surprise, my website has performance issues with images. Who would have predicted this? Is that a good summary of where we are so far?
Yes,
so, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Okay,
Awesome.
let me get you destroyed further.
So the progress right now is we updated all Astro related dependencies, and Elian is addressing what can be addressed for the images, but Josh still needs to ditch some of. But Josh tried to create a design system inside his website, and then the design system he's decided to create for his Astro website is in Solid. So
Well, I think my exact words and critique to Josh were, there is something wrong with your website if your website has more components than it has users. But yeah. But it was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke because Josh has a lot of users, so he could have even more components.
At
No,
least
sorry.
three.
I love you all. I love you all. Also, did you read the comment, Josh? I drank a beer during a talk at FOSDEM and then criticized the open source strategy. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah. I'm so
yeah.
happy about this.
Yeah.
Zwanzor Nico is one of my favorite open source people over on oh my god,
Yeah.
Striker, the mutation testing framework.
Yes.
And I'm
then
so
I
glad
sent a
those
picture
socks
to
are still a
Josh.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, I was very careful to wash them because they're red, so I don't want everything that I wear to be red rose-ish.
It'll mutate your clothes.
Yes, exactly.
Also, thank you for gifting the sub, Swanzor Nico. Appreciate it.
Ooh,
But
thank
yeah,
you.
so you were telling me to slow the F down. I was switching around and you wanted me to do
Yes.
something.
Yes, you gotta chill, bro. You gotta chill. Take a chill pill.
Not
So
till 5 p.m. my time.
okay, we're in this labeled image better component, but you see that you have like all those props there. Remove them. We only need one prop,
Jesus.
which is an image or a source in this case. Well, let's just start with one. Let me say it like that so that we can build the component back up.
Okay.
So let's start with just a. I think your source will be image data, or image metadata. It will be called image metadata. I think from Astro. Yes, that's it. Start with that one. Now, in your image itself that is imported from Astro Assets. Yep. Change the source to be that prop. So you do either astro.props.src or you use the destructuring thing. An image will always will always require an alt tag in our case. So just make that an empty string for now, or add it already and you can choose whatever you want.
So is that a
Just
proper time
kidding.
for us to have that interface versus type conversation, Josh? We just declared another one.
Well,
Attila
No,
got
it
so
can be-
triggered with the interfaces thing that even before the stream started, he was already the interfaces thing in the interface.
No, it's a genuine question. I know it sounds like bike shedding. I just want to hear because I tend to think that interfaces, like if you're doing like and I get it's just like Josh's personal website, but he's building it as an enterprise thing with design system and stuff. So what I tend to think is if you have a team and you're declaring typings like that for components, it would be safer to have them as types because, as you know, interfaces basically behave like if you declare new types on an interface, if you expand an interface, it just merges by default. So then if down the line in your code you happen to have the same name on interface and you happen to expand an interface, you just messes up with the namespace. Josh, interrupt me at any time. So for this kind of stuff, why did you like? And there's, I know that in the past of TypeScript compiler there was a marginal performance gain for using interfaces over types, but I don't think that's true anymore. So I took that as a rule of thumb that I always prefer types because of this. So why are you using interface, Josh? What's the reasoning?
But this is an Astro component. Astro components uses interfaces as props.
It works. We work with types too.
You
Yes.
can't do this.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah,
look
you
at
can.
that syntax highlighting. Is that a bug?
What?
Not in Astro, in the tokenizer, the syntax
It.
highlighter.
Ooh. That might
I've
be-
never tried this till now.
I have no idea actually.
Okay.
And also,
anyway,
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Atila, you bring up great points. This is like honestly, this is like one of my big critiques of just TypeScript as a language. The way that TypeScript evolved kind of led to this organically. It's not like they originally said, let's have both interfaces and types do almost the exact same thing. It's just that's how the code fell over the course of a decade. But it is painful and it's annoying because as someone who teaches TypeScript, I then constantly have to tell people the subtle differences between them because no one wants to be told there are two things that do the same thing. Don't worry about it. If you ever find a place they do differently, then learn it. But yeah, so most of the time it doesn't matter if you use interface or type. The by far most important thing is to be consistent within a team, right? But there are some subtle differences that can matter sometimes. For example, I can do this. I can do export interface props, source 2 and source 1, and it's as if I had just declared one big old props interface to begin with like this.
Right.
What the fudge? So that's a downside of using interfaces. The reason why this is the case is because you sometimes do want to merge in things. Like you want to do like interface window in like declare global or something like that. I always mess up this syntax.
And
So,
that's
like,
a great case for like library authors use interface because then people can easily extend the types. But then, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Feature. Some cases a feature, some cases a drawback. The reason why I generally use interface over type is because there are edge cases where I believe I'm not sure about this anymore. They keep fixing them, but I believe there are edge cases where the like diagnostic messages, like the errors, the helper messages from TypeScript are a little better for interfaces. And more important than that, I think, is that conceptually an interface is what you're trying to do. It's just a coincidence that you can do like an export type my type, and then that happens to equal some object. Like what you're saying here is in a type system level. Whenever I have this name here, my type, cut and paste or copy and paste this object literal into there. And because people just did that willy-nilly for object literals, then they added in a bunch of nice features around making it good error messages the way interfaces do and good performance. But like fundamentally at the core, that is not what that is made for.
Yeah, the thing like I started with Nicholas there where he says type augmentation was a mistake because I tend to think that this thing where you have source 1 and source 2 and then they get merged sort of like implicitly. I usually treat like implicit programming as a code smell. Like I'm usually the annoying guy that does nitpicks on code reviews and say, look, if you're doing the double bang on a variable, just use the Boolean constructor. So yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that I have never seen a case where people accidentally merge interfaces. Have you?
I did that only when I wanted to, like, for example, do some stuff around the HTML type definitions. Like, for example, I want to make the alt attribute required for the image tag, or yeah, things like
You
that.
can do that in Astro, by the way. That's really cool. You can import HTML attributes and then extend them.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
So if you, for instance, let's say Josh has this design system where he uses text, and the text is always a P, then he can just say interface props equals, and then extends HTML P, and then he can use basically all the attributes but alter them. For instance, he can.
What's
Yes,
the
but
props
that's not
for this?
that's not an Astro component. That's a TSX
bots.
component.
Right.
Yeah, but you can totally do that.
Yeah,
in,
but
in
that's
the thing.
that's not
Yeah.
that like the Astro feature in this case is just like hoisting that all the way to the global declaration, right? Because
No,
that's
that's
exactly how you would do.
Yeah, that's true. It's HTML attributes, Josh, not
I
HTML
always
props or
forget these.
something.
Thank you.
Yes, and then you
And
use
then
the
this-
square brackets, and then you say no, sorry, not the beaks. This, yeah, and then you just put anything you want, and now you can extend it.
Look, just to
But it's true,
clarify
yeah.
to Svanzor, I didn't mean like, and I don't think Nicholas also meant that it was entirely a mistake. The type augmentation is just that just creates like a huge foot gun for code bases. But yeah, I want to be on the on the ranting about enums TED talk from Nicholas as well. I have things to say too.
Yeah.
But cool.
Yeah. The way that we've set it up is that because interface is like kind of semantically how it works in TypeScript, and then like is more similar to other languages in theory, that in TypeScript ESLint by default, the stylistic recommended preset does have the be consistent rule set to always use interface. You can, just to be clear to anyone freaking out about that statement, you can configure it to say always use types when possible, and the rule will be smart. If there's a case where you have to use one or the other, it won't enforce anything that would break your code. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that they're like very small nuances that are important sometimes, just like not they won't like make or break your code. So I haven't put in the effort to switch myself over to interface, and every time I've switched in the past, 6 months later at the very most, I've regretted it from when I've switched both ways multiple times. So yeah.
Did you use Starlight for that documentation website?
No, that's Tokusaurus.
Why would you ask me that question? You know that's
because
gonna hurt someone's feeling.
Kevin said it was beautiful docs. I thought he was.
Thanks,
You
Kevin.
can easily tell it's Tokusaurus.
Very distinctive sidebar and header and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Little admonitions. Yeah. Starlight is great, though. I do plan on using it one of these days.
It's amazing. I'm very happy with it.
Why don't you do it now?
I've got no projects to use it on. I can't even use regular Astro, let alone.
Well, Starlight, to be honest, is easier because we take care of everything for you. Well, I'm saying Starlight takes care of everything for you. Okay, wait, let's just go back quickly and fix that component. It's only 2 lines of code, and then the solid guys can take over, and then I can chill. Okay. So the image component, labeled image, but better component thing. Take that one. Okay, so what's happening? You see that on your website, on your dev, it's failing. Yeah, you also have to, of course, go back and fix your props because you interface props it with source 1, source 2, and something instead of source.
Oh, thanks.
I do TypeScript for a living.
Rude.
I'm loving mean Elian.
Okay, so what's happening now, Josh, is that if you go back to index.mdx, if you go and take a look there, you can see that you're actually just passing a string in the source. You're not actually passing image data. So what you want to do there is the import from this is fine that you do there above. You do the same thing. So you just import the this is fine from, I think it was in assets, source assets, whatever. Yes, that one. And then just pass that as a prop. Yes. And now go back to the label. And now it instantly is better.
Yay!
Why do you have
look at
squiggles?
that.
The squiggles
have
are probably
squiggles.
there, yes, because of whatever. Something. Oh,
Type of
probably
source
infer
is
size shouldn't
incompatible.
be there because you have because it's not a remote
No,
image.
it's
And then,
the error message saying the type of source are incompatible.
that's not true. It is compatible. We see it on the screen. No, it's the L tag that's missing now. Yeah. L
By
tag
the
is
way, can I
required.
just say how much I appreciate that you make the alt tag required, like a build error? I really appreciate that.
I'll pass it on to Erica, who built this.
Thanks, Erica. Astro.
Again, you still have the thing. It's because of astroprop source is not over.
I know. Shh.
So impatient.
Wait, what's happening, Josh? Chill.
I'm adding the alt text
Yes.
back in because
Okay,
it's annoying.
okay,
me that
okay, okay.
It was to do. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, you have the squigglies because source is not compatible. It should be image and then something else. Oh, you don't have pretty TypeScript errors, that extension? It helps me so much all the time. Okay, yes,
Well, I don't need
you're
that
the
help.
TypeScript god.
He
It's true.
doesn't. That's from Matt Pocock. They hate each other.
Yeah, of course.
That's true.
They are.
We saw each other for the first time in Romania at a conference last month, and honestly, we still have yet to pay back the damages done to the chandeliers.
I
It was
was
these
there.
beautiful
I was there.
Chihuly. Yeah.
I was there. I
You
was.
want to
I
show
was
us
at,
the
I was at the
7-inch scar on
restaurant.
your back from the shards from the fight?
I was at the restaurant sitting next to Matt, and then Josh comes late because his flight was super late. He was coming from another conference, and then he arrives, and I kid you not, there was some mariachi there, and they were like, "Wah, wah, wah."
That's what I was gonna say. It
And then
sounds like a standoff.
everybody stands still, and they just locked eyes. And it's like,
Fired first.
okay. Was true
Nice.
story. Was exactly like that.
Exactly like that, yeah. So, Astro Assets. Why is my source?
Oh,
Should
yeah.
I just look it up in the docs?
I would always
Or
advise you to do
could
that. But
also read
clearly,
type definitions, Josh.
Oh,
Josh
yeah.
doesn't read the docs. That's the whole problem where this started. So here, source is a string. That makes sense.
No, but you're passing image metadata. You need to pass image metadata dot source. Up there. Line 10. Line 10.
Up there.
10.
Line 10.
It's
Yes.
dot source. It's dot source.
Okay, yes, okay.
Ah!
That was
There
so
you go.
painful.
We fixed it.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, now we can start bashing on solid.
Wait, hang on. Let me just
No, chill. Yeah,
Let me put
of course.
this stuff back. No, but again,
I have a
preliminary slash
security
in the middle.
low-hanging
Thank you. This
fruit.
is great.
Yes.
I
Security.
have a security low-hanging fruit for you.
Ooh.
You
That's
have an
interesting.
external link component.
Oh, true. It is book, right? Oh no, because your navigation is not a solid component, is it? Your main navigation?
1 second. Let me push up. We have.
Type.
There's this weird bug in VS Code of my computer where it keeps confusing the same file under the absolute path and the relative path, and I don't. It's not just this week.
Oh.
I don't know what happens there.
That's weird.
Okay. So yeah, the navigation. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Yeah, I
was
asked if
going
the
to talk
navigation
about
was-
the external link component.
Oh, external links, plural. Yes.
So,
Oh,
what?
Are you going to tell me to do that?
I was going to tell no opener, but yeah, no refer is even stricter.
Don't you have a linting rule for that?
So if you can have just a no opener, and then it's safe, and then you preserve the refer. But if you can have also no refer anyway.
Yeah, so this is like a known problem in the ESLint ecosystem that we haven't yet started, like we communally haven't yet started to address. There is a set of lint rules around like good JSX, such as this one we're seeing now is actually for accessibility, but they're not type aware for the most part. Like people just haven't gotten around to doing that. There's like it's unclear how to do it right without building something into ESLint, because I personally really don't want a hard code that we all use TypeScript, because eventually there will be, you know, major competitors. But anyway, yeah, so Anchor has content isn't aware that the dot to dot link definitely has content. So let's just, you know, testing to do, remove the bad things. You know, I'm just going to remove link altogether. And here we go. Now we have, oh my freaking God, goes high. Oh my God, yeah, I don't have that lint rule enabled. There should be a lint rule somewhere telling me to use I'm sorry, I've already forgotten. Which one did you say was the right one for me to use? No refer?
No opener means you don't allow the new tab to open new tabs and stuff like that. And then the no refer does that plus removing the refer from the request. So you can do the no refer and the no opener, or just a no opener would be safe already. That's my take. But yeah.
Okay. And I like no
It
refer
depends if
I
you're
remember
linking to
right.
any possible website or just the websites or just like the websites you trust.
Got it. Apparently, I'm not linking to anyone because external links is never used. So never mind.
Over engineering at its pinnacle.
Told you.
The fudge.
Told you there was a gold mine here.
Oh, you know what it was? I think I at one point wanted to add in the little indicator to book, and I never used it.
Yeah.
Is there
Oh,
a-
kudos for using the double colon on the pseudo elements.
Thank you. My linter
For
makes me do that.
some reason, that's
No, it
like a
doesn't.
huge pet peeve I have when people use
Oh, I
treat
always
like
do it.
pseudo. You always do it, or you always don't do it, because most people
I always do
treat.
two.
Okay, because that's a pseudo element. If you do one colon, that's a pseudo state, but it also
Yes, like
works.
hover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I still know CSS, even though I use a lot of helpers like CSS and Tailwind. Good.
Tailwind. All right.
No, actually, the hot take here would be: why do you use CSS and not Tailwind?
Yeah, that's
That's
actually
another
a
thing.
legitimate question.
Yeah.
To be honest, Josh's design system reminds me a lot of Panda CSS too.
Yes, I
That's
know.
what I'm
I've
going
looked
for.
at it. Yeah. Mm.
Panda CSS, Rainbow Sprinkles, those types of things. I will eventually find the time to finish doing like a full evaluation of all of them. But I think that is the future. As anyone such as Atila, who was there for my talk, type safe style systems at RevoJS last year. Once I healed up from the battle, the standoff Clint Eastwood style with what's his name, Matt Pocock, whoever that is. I hope he watches this. Is like, what? Because we honestly had such lovely conversations. There was like not a shred of malice in any of them, and I just love the idea of fake drama. All right, cool. Sorry, yeah. Thank you for pointing out first the security issue and then helping me delete unused code. You're right. No referrer is great because if it's an external link, I don't want them to know, like the external site to know that people are coming from my site, because screw them. Yay, user privacy.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see. Low hanging fruits in solid.
Before we go to solid, while Attila is
thinking, there was a weird question I had, but go ahead, Daniel.
Just one thing, just to see if it happens to you, or is it just me because I'm on my browser on my Windows. Can you toggle the white mode? Why is that cross there? Is there a reason?
It's there because I'm not good at designing UIs, but notice how No. It's to toggle whether the light mode dark mode state is persistent. So I'm glad we actually did end up getting to this. There was a question in the chat. What happens if you
Do you have a global
you're
listener? Do you have
What
a
do you mean by
listener
global
to
listener?
the so if you change your color mode, your theme toggle, you don't. Oh, interesting. I always do that. So if you press the cross, now it follows your default system settings, right? So if you
Yeah.
now would change to dark mode globally, like your system, would
I
it
don't have
actually
this. That's right.
follow? Okay, yeah.
It would not. You would have to refresh the page, which is a bug that I keep forgetting to file an issue for. You're right. I would ideally, if you
bug.
don't have an override, I think it's a bug
It's not
because
a
all
bug.
my other stuff follows system.
Oh yeah, like that. No, I was meaning that it's not a bug. It's just something you didn't implement.
Got it. Yeah. Same page.
It's a missing
Um,
feature.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can.
but
I,
yeah.
I have one. I have a solid JS one that's pretty easy to do, and it's something that a lot of people actually do. Can you open the Anchor TSX? You see, you have CLSX there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Solid has a class list attribute that does exactly the same. No, class list is a actual attribute in the JSX, not class.colon list. Class list, yeah. So
Class
you can do
colon
exactly
list is
the same.
Astro.
Wait, why are you passing an array? It's not an array, it's an object. So it's a key, and then when the key is true, it's gonna be the class. So it's probably not exactly the same syntax as CLSLX.
Oh wait,
So-
talk to me more. What does this actually do?
So CLSX, oh my god, CLSX is the thing that you pass a key, and then if the value of the key is true, the key is gonna be the class that gets put in the end HTML, and then
Okay.
class list does exactly that.
Yeah, it's like a really
Isn't it
nice.
the other
Just
way
give me
around?
all your classes.
Isn't it the other way around?
Ah, I see what you're saying. Like this.
Yep. Correct. But I think props.class is not it's not a single
String or
string.
undefined.
Yeah, because you cannot pass anything.
And this is better?
No, I'm just pointing out that you don't need a dependency.
Got it. That makes sense. The problem is I really like how the dependency lets me do these things succinctly. If class list were to be changed in some way or massaged so that I could do just like pass all the things, I would use it for sure. I do not like taking on a dependency. The fact that there are both the class names package and CLSX, and I know other ones too that have like, what is it, tens of millions of weekly downloads each is silly to me.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's actually a really nice dependency, by the way. I will note out, like you can note that you can add in like strings, potentially undefined, potentially false. You can add in arrays of those things. You can add in objects of those things. It's actually like pretty sweet. Yeah, you can do like something and like whatever math.random is provide.
Yeah, sure, but sure.
I actually have a suggestion of something. I know there was at least one place I did something really wrong with Solid, and I'm honestly surprised it hasn't come up yet. ESLint disable. If you look for ESLint disables in my code base, you will find a few. And one of them is a Solid thing. Yeah, so the big crux of the website, the thing that gave me the most pain in implementation was the tabs. I wanted. This is why it's interactive, and this is why there's so much that's not Astro, to everyone's pain and chagrin. I wanted the initial state to be the first of the categories provided to this component, tabbed entry categories. So like, oh, sorry, the second, because all is always the first. I love alphabetizing things. Am I doing something wrong here?
In terms of why you needed to bail out of TS stuff there, of the ESLint?
Yeah, because what I want to do is I
So
wanted to make a signal that starts as the first category because I know this will never be re-rendered with something different. But he yelled at me about that.
it yelled at you because props categories is so if you rename that prop to initial categories or something like that, then it's gonna calm down. Um, because you can have initial, or you can be initial or default, because that's a way of letting Solid knows that this is a state, this is a prop that's not going to be reactive. The other way you can do is you can create a variable before that and use the untrack. So then you're going to tell the compiler that, okay, we don't want to track that thing anymore. And then you can use that like this. The problem is using a reactive prop inside the function body, because then Solid says, oh, you're
Mm,
probably doing something wrong there, and your code's probably not going to behave the way you expect.
got it. So like
So in
this
this
would be an
case,
option.
something would be, yeah.
Cool.
So you can either like untrack on the runtime, or you can name the props with a default or initial prefix, and then Solid's gonna inherently realize, okay, this is not supposed to be reactive, because what
Got it.
JSX does by default is what Solid's engine does by default is treat everything as reactive. So basically, props are kind of reactive as well, and that's
Mhm.
how you can update child components if the props are passing down to them are changed. And the fact that you are making Solid track the initial state of a signal is kind of weird. So that's why Solid is screaming at you for that.
That makes sense. Before we dive into any more of
Mm.
this solid stuff, because I do have some questions there. I do want to note that this is actually a learning very similar to a learning we've had recently on TypeScript ES side. We have a very notorious lint rule called no floating promises. Uh, let's say you have an async function, ignore the fact that it has nothing in the body, and then you call that function, let's say, and you forget to like await it or like, store that in a variable something. This is the lint rule complaint you get. Promises must be awaited and with something, blah, 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 like a few different options. And then we have a link to the docs. And something that we've learned the hard way that I have a to-do on me to fix is that when you give a list of suggested remediations, people will not read the docs. Because
Yes.
so either that list needs to have every single possible thing you could do to resolve it in cases that could reasonably happen, um, or it needs to say go read the docs. And the problem with the former, the having all the cases, is of course when you get into these situations where you wanted the list in the first place, it's never just 3 possible things, it's like 50 possible
Yeah.
things you could do. This list is incomplete. It doesn't mention like storing in a variable, for example. So I think that's what happened with me. I was the user annoying the lint maintainers in this case because I just had the thing. I read the message. I was like, wait, that's I don't care. That's not my situation. I went to the docs. I was like, Jesus Christ, this page is 5,000 words, and then I just disabled the lint rule.
Yep. To be honest, we are all guilty of doing that at some point when you're starting.
Yeah. I think this should be very encouraging to anyone watching this, that a person who works on a lint team, multiple lint teams, and the person who works on solid are both going, yep, yeah, that happens.
So but yeah, essentially that's and that's, to be honest, that's what, like, that tells a lot about the journey that Solid went through, because in the very beginning, if anyone tried it before, there was a time where Solid didn't have any kind of built-in ESLint rules to let you know when you were accidentally bailing out of reactivity or falling off reactivity. And it was like a very complicated DX to figure out, because like suddenly everything is a function call and stuff like that, and a lot of people inherently thought that Solid should behave like React because of the syntactical similarities, but yeah, it doesn't. It's actually completely different. So
Yeah.
the lint rules are there because of that, and the point of Solid is essentially being like Ryan is very enthusiastically unbiased on the code that he writes. So Solid has literally no opinion. So even like the default or initial thing, do whatever you want. And so he puts both of them there, and you go. Another issue, like if you see like in your type definition, you have a type JSX you're importing. That's something I already talked to Josh about.
Oh
You
yeah.
also have an aliases. You have alias that's JSX element, which is the
Right.
same as JSX.element. But at some point, people wanted that, and there was a moment where we needed to have both. So it's JSX element, like camel case. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second is an alias to the former. So you know, users,
Nice.
everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it helps the X, then it's totally worth it. But yeah,
Is it though?
yeah, of course.
Pros and cons here. On the pro, it's you have more flexibility. But on the con, now people are asking why they're two things, and then you have the incongruity between them as you switch between code bases that have different styles.
Oh, on the same code base. How naive are you both? Like you have in the same code base one component using one and
Of
the other
course.
using the other, and then
Yeah.
you try to and then eventually you might want to refactor something, and then you have two
But still,
places to look
eventually,
at.
it doesn't hurt anything because it's still the same thing. It's just an alias, so there is nothing different about it. So who cares? Whatever that you're using, it's fine. It works.
And I think that's why it's there and everybody forgot about it. But yeah, as you know, I can obsess on details. So when I found that out, I really drilled down on that. Like, why? I need answers. And the ultimate answer is, yeah, we forgot about it.
We forgot about it. Yeah.
Very reasonable.
Wait, let me ask you this question, Attila. Which one are you recommending in the docs, or which one are you using in the docs? Like, you will probably have a preference and probably are keeping that consistent across pages. I hope so,
So
at
the
least.
problem is the code snippets in the docs are not in TypeScript. That's something
None of
that
them? Oh.
unless on the TypeScript section, I'd say.
And so, in
But
some
that's
other
something
references,
that we want to have as in the
Okay.
source code. We want to have TypeScript by default, and then generate the vanilla JavaScript on build, and then we'll
Yeah.
have two tabs. But yeah, it's not there yet.
Okay. But I see here JSX.element. Okay.
Yeah, like I prefer that. I didn't write the docs, but I prefer JSX.element, essentially because you have more stuff in the JSX namespace. So
Yeah, makes sense. Well,
I like less imports. But this is definitely something I was talking to Josh and I also talked to Daniel about it, and I talked to Dave, and I even talked to Ryan about it. Having one day Josh and I jumping on a stream and looking at the TypeScript definitions of solid or solid start or solid router, and having Josh doing exactly what we were doing to his website now. He just goes in the docs and like go unfiltered, opinionated on it, and I just
That's how
make
it should be.
notes and we take it on or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I want to do for sure.
oh, that's why she's just opened the comment there.
What do you think
Is
about this suggested change, Attila?
I would
What?
approve.
What? What
I am-
what
I'm-
are you doing?
Line 72.
Yeah.
I'm not going
I
to
would
send
like
this now,
that.
but something
I
for
would
another day.
like it, but I would like it, but I have zero powers to approve that.
Fun fact, by the way, about the deprecate, like at deprecated JS talk tag. If you added there, oh, I messed it up. What's it? Link. I always mess up my link in C. So there is a separate way to like actually link in code. But if you add deprecated somewhere and then someone uses it in code, if I restart my TS server just to refresh things and then do JSX elements, it shows up
Yeah,
as
you have to
a
import it.
Yeah.
through.
Wow, that's cool.
And that's awesome. And What's the and you can also do I think there are a few types in the solid inside solid, at least in the solid router, or no, at least in solid start, because it's like super new. A lot of types don't have descriptions, um and I find that super helpful to me. I actually had like a little idea yesterday, I guess, when I was updating some dependencies. I was like, I look at the code, there was no description of the types, and then I had to jump into docs, and then it was a new feature, so docs weren't there yet. So then I had to jump into the code base and figure that out. So I was like, okay, I probably should go about it. That's kind of very low hanging fruit, like getting through the APIs and adding descriptions to things.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you go about that, by the way? Do you use because the syntax I use is just JS doc at description? Is there a fancier way or better way to do that?
I don't generally use
Yeah.
that description. I generally just actually let me open a different project. Code TS API utils. Shout out to on GitHub Rebecca Steven for setting up a bunch of tooling on this one. But this one uses TS API utils uses type doc to generate like a static doc site straight from your someone call it JS doc, others TS doc.
So like Rust does.
Yeah. PMPM docs. I'm not saying you have to do that. Just dang it. Just this is an example of like a thing that has a lot of JS docs in it. So if I do like, we actually have some lint rules set up so that like we have to add a category so they show up in the doc site nicely. Again, that's just us and like add example, but we generally don't use at description. We just put it in there.
What do you mean you just put it in? Oh, it catches?
Like the description is just
like that?
it's just the text. Yeah, it's just there. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. At link, and then TypeScript doesn't recognizes at link, so you could command click to go to. Kind of nice.
Oh, that's so useful. But then that links to type definitions, right? That doesn't link to the actual implementation of things. Like in this case, this is just yes, but
no, it links.
There
it
is a
links to whatever
right
would
in-
be in scope. So like, go
TypeScript
for each
scope.
comment is linked to like it's as if you did this like for each comment, just like that in the code right there, or like if it's a type, like the equivalent of type underscore equals something. So like if you go to the thing and then right click go to definition, it'll bring you to, in this case, the function. Anyway, we bored
okay.
Elian.
Elian left.
Oh,
No,
said
he
was
went to pick a
went on a
beer.
chat.
I bet he went to pick beer.
He said, "Gonna grab some water." That's what he said on the chat. Must pay attention to the chat. Let's see.
Okay. Well, I was not paying attention. Thank you. But yeah, I'd also, by the way, shout out a couple of cool ESLint rules. There's ESLint plugin JSDoc, which is JSDoc rules around ESLint. It can enforce that you like always, yay, water!
Water. Haha.
I would never.
Yeah.
Yeah,
your
you're speaking on the
microphone.
wrong microphone now.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, it got real soft all of a sudden.
Now it's better.
Give me a sec.
It's back.
Yep. Yeah, so this one can require like descriptions or prefix or whatever, like for params or whatever. It can get really strict if you wanted to. ESLint plugin JSDoc. Or you can configure it to be not so strict. For example, in definitely typed, actually, we use ESLint plugin JSDoc. This is all the third-party type definitions for the most part. And then like we verify not that they exist, but that if they do exist, they're valid. Like you don't have at param something that doesn't exist. And then one last shout out here to lint rules. I added one of my favorite rules of all time, informative docs, which says if your lint rule just restates the name of the thing, or sorry, if your JS doc just restates the name of the thing, remove it because that's useless. Because how many times have you seen this in code? Let user ID comment the user ID.
True.
Yeah.
I know that Daniel saw that more than us because he used to code Java.
I did. What?
It comes from the Java ecosystem. Yeah, actually. Yeah. Also, we're actually Danny in the chat mentioned tsdocs.dev. Great website. We're actually thinking of switching from TypeDoc to tsdocs.dev. Like this is the deployed TypeDoc site for TS API utils. It's not very pretty, but it gets the job done. But TypeDoc or tsdocs.dev. There we go, right here. Phenomenal. It's new and early stage and like just on some random guy's droplet somewhere, so the performance is not great. But once it does load, it's beautiful. I promise.
Now the page crashes.
See if a more popular plugin's cached already. We should talk about something else.
I just want to point out that Sarah from the Solid Docs just coined that Elian is the Simon Cowell of JavaScript.
She did. And I was actually thinking about that.
Oh no, why am I? No, I'm actually a very nice guy.
Just
It was
don't
all-
show him
on a roll.
raw image tags.
It was an expression of love, Josh. An expression of love for you to do better.
As in, you would love for me to do better. Got it. Yes. Understood. All right. Well, can't show TS Docs dev, but it is great. I promise. Yeah. Also, yeah.
I was gonna ask
Sorry,
a
go
question, but I didn't want to redirect the thingy because I was looking at one of your components, and there's a question here that we can look at it since Elian is here as well, which is on your pie chart.
Oh, like on the content?
Yes.
Right, I remember
No,
something
but
about
on
charts.
On the component.
Oh, on the component.
If you go to your code.
Oh god, this component was a pain in the rear to make.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
remember
bad.
you.
You have a question there about Astro not loading stuff in production builds.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I was so annoyed by this because I knew the root cause was definitely just me not using Astro properly, but I couldn't figure it out. So in the production builds, the CSS just wasn't loading. So I had to switch from CSS modules to inline styles, which ironically are better TypeScript wise.
Where are you importing the styles?
In the TSX.
Then the problem lies with TSX, not with Astro.
Wow.
Wow.
That was fast.
Not my problem.
Woo!
Oh, wait.
No, I actually don't know. Wait, so import styles that didn't work, but it did
worked
work
in dev, but not in production.
Maybe it was like a temporary bug. You should try it again and see, like on the latest version of Astro, that it works. So upgrade your dependencies because we just released one.
Yay!
No, okay. You don't have to, but we just released a small patch.
But you just released it while you were on the stream?
That's why he was out. Most of that
wasn't
even water related.
No. I didn't draft the patch. It had nothing to do with it.
Kevin is just saying he ran into this bug.
Ooh, Kevin, then we definitely should record it somewhere in the Astro Discord and then debug from there.
I'm just gonna put some test styles on it. Just
border for sure.
TypeX style red. So just to confirm, we see it in dev. Thank you, by the way, for asking that. I forgot about this thing, and I'm really excited to finally get to the bottom of it.
I just thought it was like Astro production issues. Like, oh, let's make sure that.
Yeah, but it's true. I have run into some weird stuff with stuff like this as well.
Oh wow,
that is pretty. I love it.
Yes, very brutalist.
Very brutalist. Okay.
Astro's or Alien's a fan.
Brutalist
I just called you Astro. All right.
I mean, it's a unique style. It's not something that you see every day.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
So this is the prod version, and they just don't show up.
Yeah. Cool.
I think I'd previously seen this, but I don't want to open Discord to where I think I messaged it because I'm scared of showing things on stream. But I know I've seen this before.
Is the component hydrated?
Oh, so this actually it's 7761. I think I just realized I was in the issue. Yeah, I think it's. I think
So
it's
Arch
this
is looking on it.
thing. I believe the component's hydrated. Like it.
Yeah, probably it
It.
is. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
charted.
it is. I
nicely.
can see it already. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. But I see that Arch reacted, so Arch probably is on it.
Okay. Cool.
I'll hit you up whenever it's fixed.
Thanks. I mean, at this point, it works on my side. I'm probably gonna forget about it by next week. So,
True.
eh.
True.
I have a curiosity on the behavior as well, that because I've been looking through the code while sometimes you've been speaking on some things. I was like, on your hero image, why are all the set timeouts there? Because I'm just trying to figure out the logic
The
behind it.
loads?
Oh my god, this was such a pain in
On
the
the hero
rear.
image, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that
Content
as
entry
well.
image.
It's set to load it,
Um,
and then you have
God, I
weird
forget.
stuff going on there.
Old
I don't
school
like how I
AC.
did this. I really don't. Come on, load. There we go.
Because on that one, like your immediate, but on the hero image, as soon as you render, you set a timeout already to set load as loading.
Okay, so I don't know if this answers the question, but part of the difficulty was that I wanted it to work with JavaScript disabled.
Mhm.
So there's a
Oh.
script somewhere. Nope, not that one. Base layout. Where JavaScript enabled is a class that's added. I actually don't think that's relevant here. I think that's just like in the class names. I only hide them if you have a JavaScript enabled.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's look at hero image. Good call. Why do I do this crap? Let's see what happens. So
And also, just a small note that you're not using the optimized images here as well.
yeah,
But this one is a very
Yeah,
difficult one to refactor. So
that's why I
yeah, but
remember.
that's a TSX.
yeah, and it shouldn't be. There is like no reason that should be a TSX component.
So there's a one that's that there's two TSX components using regular element images. That's because they're TSX. So there's this one, and there's the social images.
Mm-hmm. Where are the those are on the blog
But
post.
social images, I mean, probably do make sense.
Being a TSX.
Oh, those ones. Oh no, you could refactor those. I've did that on your website already. Yeah, so it's an easy one.
Great.
The problem
for hero image though, the reason why it's TSX, why it's a solid component on Astro, is because I wanted to very specifically only start fading it in after the image loads.
Wait, say that again.
I don't want
Lazy
the image
load.
to start. Okay, yes, I wanted to lazy load the image, and I wanted it to fade in after the image loads. So I wanted to use the image on load detection. And I personally found it easier to do that with the event listeners in Solid rather than like raw HTML Astro,
Oh, okay. Okay.
like refs and such. I don't stand by it, but that's just what I found to be easier. And if there's a way to do that in image in Astro Assets, that would make me very happy. To be like the once it's loaded, this is the entry animation. But I didn't want it to like flicker in halfway through the
Yeah. I wouldn't think there is a native way of doing that, the same as you're doing here. But also, if you were using images from Astro, then your images wouldn't be as big because they would be optimized.
True.
So,
And then you can
it's
just
not
use
entirely the
the
same.
regular delay animation stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess that's different.
Yeah, so
but you do have browser level lazy loading.
Yeah,
but you have browser level lazy loading and you have CSS fade-ins, but they don't work well. They can't talk to each other, is what I have found, perhaps
they don't?
correctly. CSS has no idea whether your images have loaded because CSS is not allowed to know things that might leak user data.
Honestly, here you don't actually want it to be lazy loaded since it's a picture at
He
the
wants
top of
to
the
delay.
page.
He wants to delay because he wants
Yes.
the fancy fading in.
Yeah, that I understand, but then you wouldn't want it to be lazy loaded. You just want it to have a pretty fade in.
No, he wants to fade in only the complete image. You cannot fade in pixelated, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh doesn't do pixelated. By the way, since y'all asked
I gotta
earlier,
say, you pick the weirdest moments to be vain.
I'm always vain. What are you talking about? I have never once in your presence, online or in person, not be incredibly vain and self-centered. How could you? But no. So this is why I put the set timeout, and I don't understand why this is not working.
But you can do like what Danny said. You can, if you have like the optimated image and you just put like a delay on the animation on the CSS for, I don't know, half a second. That's gonna be enough.
What if the image takes 2 seconds to load on Elian's crappy connection in
It's
like
not
some
gonna
airports?
take 2 seconds to load, man. But then it's if you have but then if you have a crappy internet and you're reading TypeScript stuff, you're okay with it being like the author being pixelated for one and a half seconds.
Yeah.
And if you can put like you can put fetch priority high and stuff like that.
I don't want to.
But also, if you would,
you don't want to do fetch priority
because
high?
it's not good for performance. It's not good for performance.
Well, it is good. Why not?
It's Josh, you know what also is not good for performance? Using DSX everywhere instead of Astro components.
You're right.
But
you're right. Doesn't change the fact that this image blocks this image slows the page down unless I delay. No. Unless I like limit loading equals lazy or just delay it.
But fetch priority doesn't make it a blocking resource.
Sure, but there's a finite bandwidth at the beginning of the page load, and I don't want the image to be within that bandwidth.
Okay, wait. The image that you're loading now, how big is the image now in your VS Code? Or in the thing?
It's not that big.
No, probably.
It's a WebP already.
Where's the size of this thing? How big is this?
You should be able to.
There we go. 72 KB.
That's still too big for a WebP, actually, but still, that wouldn't take like too long to load, even on shitty internet.
If you're on shitty internet,
I have been on for a week.
I have been in airports where this image, where 50 KB, let's say, I don't know what a good WebP option, where 50 KB is too much. I've been in places where people pay per megabyte for internet that they load, and then
I cannot believe we're bike shedding image loading. Okay,
we just blew past Tailwind and Uno CSS straight to image optimization.
Yes.
So your image takes. I just loaded your website without cache, and your image took 2 seconds to load, and it was
2 seconds
towards the end of the waterfall. It doesn't make sense because it's the hero image. It should be up in the waterfall.
It should be first.
First of all,
like you're loading. Why are you not inlining your SVG icons? They show up.
Oh, that's just laziness. I should probably do that.
Oh, so now performance doesn't matter.
Oh.
Well, how big are the SVG icons?
Huh?
Well, hang on a second. How big are these SVG icons?
Oh God.
It's like less than a KB. With HTTP2 streaming, I'm not worried about it.
It's another request on HTTP1. Are we talking performance or not?
We are talking performance.
So put that inside your document.
You're right. I should. You are right.
Yes, you should.
Structurally, I stand by the fact that I want the hero image to lazy load. Structurally, I do not stand by the implementation detail of these social icons.
So, can we try it's not going to be blocking if you lazy load the image and you put fetch priority high. It's just going to bump it up.
Sure. Wait, let me think about this for a second. If we do that, I'm sorry, I think what I'm confused about is why does that intersect with the strategy of hiding it until it's ready to be displayed?
Because the time that you're taking, you have 24 requests on your page load, and your image is roughly the 17th. So you're doing the set timeout because it's loading, it's taking too long to load. But if you bump it up, it's gonna take way less.
Why the hell is
I still
Rum
don't get the
waiting?
fact why it takes so long to load though, because it takes a long time for me. And like, and it's a WebP. It's I like.
Where does
shouldn't
it
take that
load the
long.
image from? Is it from your public folder? Yeah, I would guess so.
Yeah. So there are things that I do that I do and don't stand by. I don't stand by the fact that
Yeah,
it's in
yeah,
public. You're right. It should be Astro assets. It should be very quick to load. The SVDs should be inline because they're tiny and that's silly.
Yeah.
So
And
like
they happen
I
only
don't know where
once.
this. Yeah. I don't know why Rum is loading. I didn't think I had that feature enabled, real user monitoring from Cloudflare. So that's
Why is
silly.
the RAM gone? Sorry.
I want it to be gone. Yeah. So that should, in theory, that should go down to under 20 assets. But the fact of the what I don't think we've maybe I missed it because I've just been listening only to myself. But what I don't think we've overcome is on some connections the image can take a second or two to load, and I don't want the
No.
image to flicker in.
On every connection, I right now just took 2.1 seconds to load your hero image.
Got it.
And that's
once we fix it to not be crappy, to not give you three, especially I think Elian, pain looking at the source code not using Astro assets. I still think it can take some time, like a half second to load.
No.
Yeah.
A half second? No, that's too long. Would take like
Will people be
0.1
bothered
second.
if it takes 1 second to not see your face there? Or will you be bothered about that?
I won't be bothered if it takes half a second or 5 seconds, as long as someone sees a nice fade and entry animation. Like, to me, the priority is not flickering. I don't care when they see it, which is why I tried hard on the fading before I tried hard on image assets.
Danny, we're using WebP already. It's super down. Actually, you should just use Squoosh, to be honest. So it will be even smaller.
Convert your picture to an emoji. Problem
But
solved.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we already use Squoosh or Sharp to already get that image even more down.
Why is it so difficult to get things between things in Chrome? Cool. Download all. George the Panda. Why did they send it to a zip? That's so annoying.
Why don't you do like I think Squish is better.
Yeah, Squoosh is way better.
I want to compare these two. Squoosh.
Yeah, sure. In Squoosh, you just have more options. Let's say it like that. You have more control over the image.
Can you change the compress from JPEG to?
Yeah. On the right.
Oh, I put the output.
No, Josh, chill.
No.
I was using the wrong image.
I'm pointing to my screen.
No, Josh! I swear, Josh, do you use a PC on a daily basis?
I use
No. Damn it.
So,
go ahead, Atila. Go ahead.
Toss an image there, and then there's gonna be a dialog on the down right corner, and then you can play with. And so now there's a compress there, and now it's compressing to JPEG. So the most aggressive is WebP2. So yeah, you have
unstable.
Yeah, it's unstable, but yeah. So WebP 1 and 2 are basically the same in terms of size for this. Can you put WebP 1 again? It's gonna be like you have 9.3, the one 9.7. So right now you have, how much was it? 70?
72, 79, something.
Yeah, so you're 87% smaller in this case. And then you can have your image optimized and still push Elian's buttons by not using Astro image.
But I mean, I would be
Yay!
fine with
That's
that
a
because it's so
win-win.
small.
As long as I'm pushing someone's buttons with this website. By the way, the whole time I was switching back to the page and you were yelling at me to no download image, for the record, I was trying to get the image to download. That's what was happening.
Inarguably,
no, you're right.
putting the fetch priority high is even gonna help your web vital stuff because you're like, I don't know now, but at this moment, right now, the image is by far the largest resource on your page.
Yeah.
So largest
You're right. I
contentful
should have done
thing
this earlier.
just goes down. There's also the second aspect, which is your font's also taking long to load. Not taking long,
yeah.
I mean, but
it's hosted on Google. I should move it to self-hosting
you could
or
totally do
something.
that. Yeah. Just
you
make
should
a
move to your own
folder in
stuff.
your
There is a
public,
package
yeah.
for that, actually. If it's already hosted in Google, there's what's the name of the package? Font source, font
Oh,
source.
my bad.
Font
Yeah, my
source,
bad.
yeah.
I actually am. I am taking it for my own self, but I
You
haven't.
know
I
there's
know
a
that.
package. Ah, yeah, you're already doing that. Yeah, okay.
I know there's something I can do to make this faster. At least I have a memory of thinking I should do it, and I don't remember what it is.
On the font face, what you're using? You're using swap or optional? On the CSS.
Swap,
when
I
the
would
font's
guess.
declared.
Well, I guess I'm not using either. Huh?
But you're loading the fonts. Oh.
I guess
Oh,
I
yeah,
never
yeah,
actually.
because you're using this package, it brings it from the
Yeah.
node modules. So there's probably some config that can be done,
think
but
it's
essentially
swap.
optional is faster. Because what swap does, it gives you a very short time interval and then loads the font, loads the native system fonts and then replaces it. But if you put optional, it gives a very short time interval, and then if the font doesn't arrive by then, it just doesn't use it.
I'd rather fade in personally.
The font? You cannot fade the font.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
How?
Yeah, and how do you do that?
You attach a network listener to determine when the font finishes loading, and then you fade it in. I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to push buttons, and it's not working. Well, sorry, I always forget. What's the name of this property? Font swap?
I totally forgot now.
Font display.
Display, yeah.
Yeah, font display.
I never said it. Which one would you like me to?
I think it comes by default on that package, that font source, font forge, font.
Optional. Make it optional.
Optional.
Optional is the most strict one, so that's supposed to completely avoid flash of alt style text.
Really?
So
I didn't know that. That's cool. Good to know.
Swap is gonna allow flash of alt style text to some degree, and optional is just gonna not do it. So either the font arrives very fast or it doesn't at all.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But it's still a bit swash.
It's swapping, Attila.
Swapping. But it's only on the buttons that you change.
It's on the font face declaration. You cannot do it like that, man.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
It's on the font, like font face, font family, whatever. Actually, that's coming from your node modules.
Yeah, you could change it locally. You could change it locally to just in the node modules to check if that would actually fixes your problems.
Ooh.
What's no, that package gotta have a documentation.
I forget if I have it as font source variable or what.
Yeah, there it is.
Also, interesting from the chat, size adjust. I haven't heard
What's
of that
the size adjust? I never heard of this one.
Font
there
swap.
you see it says, yeah. So change that to optional. And then we need to check what size adjust actually does.
Size adjust prevents layout shift. That's nice.
Okay, so now the font didn't come in. That's clear. Nice.
That's not what I wanted.
No.
That font didn't come in because you have invalid CSS there, man.
No, I
Yeah,
oh,
but you
I
have
thought
to save it too.
I thought I did. That's cool.
That is cool.
Not bad. All right, let's build preview. Cool.
Yeah, but you're still on swap now. Right.
Oh, what did we
Yeah,
what
but
was
I
it?
guess we're talking to the guy that sets timeout image loading because he wants to fade
I
in like
know.
Bram
I
Stoker.
know. I know.
I don't I love that comparison
No,
actually.
I know.
I don't know why the set time. Oh yeah, we never resolved this. Why is a set timeout necessary?
The set
Why
timeout
is it-
is there because you want to asynchronous load your your component because you want to wait for the image, isn't it?
No, the set timeout is there because if I call set load to true
Oh, you need something.
synchronously,
don't
it
you
doesn't
need to-
work.
Yeah, because it will be executed immediately. So at least on the first part on the loading.
Yeah.
Like I assume that you put set timeout because you wanted that thing to go to the event loop and trigger a state update after.
Yeah, does it not
somehow.
trigger a state update immediately?
But why?
Wow.
That's the thing.
Because
Why
hang
are
on
you
a
doing
second.
that?
My brain still
Hang on.
hasn't figured out why
What?
did you need to do that.
When
Yeah.
we onload or have a ref, so like if the image isn't already loaded, it'll eventually call unload. But if it is already, it's like if it's cached, it'll call the ref with element.complete true. That's like just what I discovered experimentally. Either way, I call mark loaded. And then if we don't have a set timeout there and the image is cached, so we go through the event completes. Here, I'll just alert. Yay. The image, it has to be called asynchronously. Otherwise, it just doesn't update the state.
You can put that on an on mount instead of a set timeout though.
Ooh.
So on mount is an effect that is called on the first load and then
Basically,
automatically
yeah.
on tracks. Doesn't work? What the
So
hell?
it's a better use effect.
Yeah. So you're right.
Wouldn't
Actually,
say-
this one was wrong. This
Don't
first
say
one
use-
I should have
Don't use
unmounted.
that one.
Sorry, what is use effect? Can someone?
What's exactly? But wait, what's
But
the issue
if you're setting a
No, but the issue is with mark loaded. That's something there.
Yeah. So if we refresh,
Is the function being called? Just to be sure. Some reason it's not.
yeet.
Yeet. It's eating. Okay. Why is set load not triggering?
Oh shit! It's eating
Or
too
wait,
much. My bad.
why are you? How are you using then the state?
when are you calling the loaded one?
I love this. This is what I'm here for. This is now you understand my pain. It took me so long to figure this out.
When-
I don't think source onload ever calls, but it's on the ref element.complete. And then I will mark loaded. And in the console, when we refresh the page, on the ref true, mark loaded.
Okay, and
Why are you
where do
using a
you use
ref?
the loaded variable? Loaded signal
It's
ref.
not React. You don't need a ref for that. Wait, because like you don't get re-renders. So why are you doing a ref?
Because
Can't you
the
just
image
put a
dot
listener
completes.
on the load and that's it?
You can't, because if the image is cached, onload does not get fired.
Ah.
Unload is literally if it loads. It doesn't need to load if it's cached, which I think is weird, and I don't know why they did it that way. But I'm sure the HTML spec people
Can you just
have
try
reasons.
something instead of calling mark loaded? Could you just call the state update directly just to make sure?
So Danny wants to see the CL. I cannot say the name of this package. CLSX call.
Line
Like
44.
this?
Line 44.
Oh, sure.
But did it did the same thing? Yeah, it did the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, we just inlined the function or uninlined the
Something that
function.
set load Why is that thing not triggering now? What?
I'm so excited about this.
So why do you like there? So there is a
Wait.
scenario where imperatively you can have loaded and loading styles.
Yes. So
Is there a
there,
chance
it's
you
a.
have that?
What do you mean?
Because the order you append the class list if you don't remove the class list. You know what I mean? So load can be loaded and then load can be loading.
Yeah, that
Is
doesn't
there a
make a
chance
lot
you
of
have
sense.
both of them simultaneously at some point?
I don't
Can
think
do a
so.
lot.
Try out commenting one, just to check.
Well, hang on. We know that this isn't getting called.
Mhm.
Ah. we do.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, okay. So we mark it as loaded.
But now you took both out.
So wait, loading. So that's just with loading doesn't show, and without loaded, it doesn't show.
What? The loading class is not defined anywhere.
Is there a way that CLSX is not being notified for some reason, and that thing is not re-rendering because of that? I don't know if it made sense what I'm trying to say.
Like it's something to do with CLSX. Like
Because
this is
that-
not
because that
triggering a
thing-
re-render.
Yeah, because that thing is not reactive, so there might be a render effect there that's not. I don't know, but still, to the next point, why the set timeout fixed it?
Oh, check the chat, Josh.
Good chat. Good mind. Yeah. So loading is irrelevant. We never care. So load, or rather, we do care. It's just there's no style for loading. Also, I'm hungry, so I'm eating a Cliff Bar. Someone let me know if that sound gets annoying. Apologies if so. So yeah, good call. Dead code. Hero image loading was unnecessary. Nice find, Danny. Also, what I can do is I can just make this an array that's joined by a string, and it still happens.
We are sure that the world is changing, or the signal is changing. Oh, and you didn't save there. I don't know if it. Or to see. Okay, cool.
What
This
would
is
be
so
the way
weird.
to? What's the use effect to just log? I want to log
You
load.
can create effect and just console log it inside.
Thank you.
That's weird. What?
Loading.
But it doesn't go back to loaded, right? Why doesn't it go back to loaded?
Oh.
And we are
Is it
sure
calling
that
too fast? What's the name of
Want
that
to see me
map?
fix this?
Hmm?
Do you
I'm
know
gonna
how to
fix
fix
this.
it, Josh?
Yes.
I have a hunch.
Okay.
I just
Set timeout. Or set immediate or whatever. That's the only way I could figure out to fix it. It's some weird thing with synchronicity or whatever in state. I don't know.
Yeah, how do I?
But how push it into the?
Okay, I'm
You
done
know
chewing.
what you could do though, you could set a state for the image. Ah no, you cannot because the loaded events never fired if it's cached, right?
Yeah.
Because you could put that in a show component and only show once you have the image. And then you don't need side timeout, you don't need to control flow anything.
I'm not familiar with solid. Why is this thing talking
So
about
solid show, like for React developers, is just a ternary. So it's a conditional control flow rendering.
it.
Basically, show when something.
By the way, Attila, I've been meaning to DM you. I listened to your modern podcast. Very good, very good.
Oh, thanks.
I really like the way you explain things there. It's cool. It's there's like a very like I don't know, direct conversation. And you mentioned in that podcast, this is why I'm remembering now, that sometimes it can be hard to represent TypeScript things in Solid. Oftentimes it's because people are just not using Solid right, and thus the types are yelling at them. This is an example, I think, of when it's actually like kind of hard to display or to use TypeScript types with like control flow components, because TypeScript, it doesn't provide a way to tell the type system about, you know, the control flow.
But it has a way though. You can use the callback inside the show. The thing is, there is a little catch that people don't know. It's that like the parameter that you get in the callback of the show component is going to be whatever is evaluated on when. So you get the type guard to work, but sometimes some edge cases where you actually have to have a Boolean comparison in the when, then you cannot use the callback, but you do have a callback there. Like the 1, 2, 3, the third code snippet in your screen. Yeah. Where you have the user there, like state user, you just passed by it.
That makes sense.
So that is possible. Yeah, and that's the same way there is for the show, for the index. There are two like ways of iterating stuff. There's also the switch match, which is basically either a switch case or pattern matching as control flow components.
Really
because
cool.
basically show is the typical if else, where you have the when cause and the fallback, and then you have the child, which is the truthy value, and you have the switch match combo where you can have multiple conditions in an exhaustive way, because switch also has a fallback.
That's really cool. At what point are you just
Yeah.
going to implement JavaScript in JSX for Solid?
To be honest, there's something that I actually Dave often talks about, like Dave DiBiase. He's one of the core members, and he says there are some quirks in JSX that we could potentially be fixed in a way, like when there is the typical when you use we need to escape some strings values inside JSX. Remember we were talking about, I don't particularly remember the case now, but there are some situations, and we already mentioned this before, like you and I talking, where React kind of did unintentionally, I would say, hostile takeover of JSX, where TypeScript adopted React JSX as the JSX
That's right.
pattern, where and then it just like so yeah, and solid JSX actually closer to HTML than React JSX. So a lot of times, if I'm looking at something and they provide like JSX values, you copy paste and boom, they don't work. Whereas, for example, in solid JSX, you can copy an SVG and paste the way it is. You don't need to camel case values. As you've seen today in Josh's code, he's using solid JSX. He can use class. He doesn't need to use class name, for example. That's a very much React thing. That's not a JSX thing. So yeah.
It is so bizarre to me to think that, like, out of I think perhaps the only platform or language, or pardon me, framework hard coding in the TS config options, I might be forgetting one or two, is JSX specifically has 4 React ones and then preserve for just whatever else you're doing. Wild.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna get tired soon, and we've been here for about 2 hours. I still have a bit of energy left. Was there anything you guys wanted to look at while you were here?
I'm gonna dive into your hero component, and I'm gonna come
Yes,
back with something.
That's the same
Apparently
thing
you're
we've
too
been
late.
going over.
No, you're looking at it wrong. That hero component shouldn't be a TSX component. That should just be an Astro component. It's not something interactive. There is no reason for it to
is
be
interactive. He's interacting with the load state of the image.
Okay.
I'm
okay,
interacting
okay,
with the Dom.
Okay. Okay. True. Okay. Sure.
Oh, Danny just fixed your stuff for you.
Yeah, let's shout out Danny in the chat. Oh no, I need to get the rest of them. But yeah, let's just look at this in isolation.
But you need to remove the set timeout though.
Yeah. Well, let's make sure the set timeout. Holy shit! Wow, look at that! Thank you.
Oh, you need to remove the
Wow,
one
wow,
on
wow.
top. You removed the long one, the wrong one. I know
Oh,
you
I-
have them
I
all.
re-
Cool.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we determined that the first one was unnecessary the whole time.
So it was a
oh.
reactivity issue there.
Yeah,
Mm.
you were
because
right.
have class boost
You were
now
right.
already.
But how do I styles.hero image true, styles props.size true? Yeah.
I mean, you can use the CLSX if you want to. You don't necessarily need to do class list. He did that because he used native stuff.
Got it. Oh wait, are we bad again? Okay. Also, why is it that I removed all the class names and it still works? Did I have just unnecessary class names in there?
Oh, somebody doesn't use Tailwind.
You want to talk unnecessary class names? You want to get into this? I've got energy. We can get into this. I don't dislike Tailwind. I just don't use it myself or want to use it. What happens if we do this? Oh, wait, no, I want to go the other way. Is this how to do it?
And you don't
This
have a
is
loading
weird.
class, then you just said.
This.
I can't tell where the syntax is wrong.
People shit a lot about
god-awful.
how Tailwind is not readable, but I do
Then
find
like-
this not readable too.
Well, it works.
It works.
By the way,
I mean,
found
I
a
feel
very-
vindicated, that there was a
found a
legitimate
very-
weirdness happening.
Very, very small bug.
Oh no.
But
Wait.
it's a device specific thing. It's not on that implementation.
Ooh.
So if you go to your blog and you go to your last post,
Hang on, let me just copy Danny's recommendation. Thank you, Danny. Sorry. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Which post? Thank you.
on
This
the
one?
last one, if you put the view on like iPhone SE or something like that,
There is something wrong with the image there.
Yeah, someone
That-
forgot to load in the right class.
look at your table of contents.
Oh
You cannot go
no!
through all of it, yeah. That's
Dang it.
just solid docs and table of contents going into my brain right now. Every time I see a table of contents, I'm like, let me check responsivity on this thing.
Nice. I'm just gonna put this in a
Bug reporting.
draft bug. Yeah. Good call. Good find. Yeah, so I clearly need to fix the classes here. Props.class true. What was the other class that was in there? Styles to hero image. Oh, I know they're there. Oh, these are true. I swapped the true and the loading thing. All right, whatever. It's fine. Cool.
Elian is
Anyway.
like, he's foaming mentally. He's like,
Wait, so
There is
Elian,
steam
I
coming
wanna-
out of my ears. You just don't see it.
I want to
Elian
get
is
to the bottom
gonna
of this.
Elian's gonna leave this and he's gonna put yeslint to format his code in his own website just to
That is
Elian
spite.
needs
get
to meditate
revenge.
up. I think after this, looking at your code, Elian needs another vacation on Turkey.
Yep.
Yep.
See,
which
Yep.
looked beautiful.
But this time Josh is going to pay, not me.
Only if I get to come and hang out. Apparently, you do a great job at having a good time, making friends with the locals and other vacationers.
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
jealous.
Yeah, true.
We'll forget all about my wood. Wait, so just
And so
out of
many
curiosity,
cats. So many cats. Sorry.
love cats.
That's Josh every time. Cats. Oh, let's go there.
So, Elliot, I agree with you that the way I'm doing this is weird. Even if it's right, it's still weird. I'm starting to think it's not right.
No.
So,
Got you.
if you were to do this in Astro, but still want to have the fade in after the image finishes loading, is that
Script tag.
what you would script tag?
Yeah, I would do it, but that's maybe because I look at Astro sites maybe a little bit differently than the typical end user would, since I always think Astro first, whereas most people think framework first. They typically use something like Solid, or because they have an existing website and want to migrate or something. For instance, we see a lot of people doing migrations from something like Gatsby. And they start the other way around. They just copy and paste components into Astro, which is the completely different way as I think of websites. I start building my websites from the page on and then everything in Astro until I can't anymore. Like my website, for instance, the only typical, Josh is a typical person who thinks wrong.
Basic.
But yeah, you know what I mean.
A basic biatch.
Probably you get
Yeah.
the point.
It makes sense.
Yeah. It might be different. The only interactive components that I typically have on my website is one event listener for dark mode, white mode thing, light mode, and then one for the mobile menu. That would probably be it.
Now we're going to
There is-
Roast blog.
There is none on that website because that's not the style. Yeah, that's the only event listener there
You
is.
could have that as a CSS only thing. Let's roast Alien now.
Yeah, you could totally do that. Oh yeah, this is also very outdated. But also, just should be nice because if you look good there, currently sponsoring, who's there?
I forget who this is. Biome.
Biome.
Evan, you, Anthony,
Fu, Veet, and you.
Veets, and me. Thank you. I really do appreciate it.
So you should be very nice to me.
Oh, that means me and Atila don't need to.
You can shit on me all you want. I think it doesn't even use something.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, very cool.
There is some real beautiful websites I want to show you, but
Hopefully without JavaScript.
I can't because it's Astro Studio. But soon.
TM.
Filter by topic. That's cool. How do you do that? How do you filter by topic? Is it a class name? There's a here. Let me guess.
You can totally do that.
There's like a toggle element or something. Yeah.
I do that statically on my website by tags.
Ooh. That's interesting. JavaScript disable. Yeah, there we go. That's cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
And that's how it starts. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. Very good. Elian, I'm sorry, I might have zoned out for a moment. I was getting excited about toggle state. Did you say that there was a site you wanted to show?
But couldn't because of Astro Studio.
Oh, right.
But
okay.
when it comes out, I'll show you again, and then I'll show you how I think of my websites. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So awesome. I think we've made a lot of cool progress here, and I just want to go through what we've discovered just to recap. The link to this PR is pinned in the chat. Oh, I accidentally pinned other messages. So let's. God damn it.
No.
Start Twitch.
Better one. Oh, okay.
We found Astro Check does actually work. I needed to update my dependencies because I was only half updated, but then we did find some type issues. We found that I do need to squoosh my images much more. I do plan on migrating to image assets or Astro assets. That's good. And thank you for helping me. I think you saved me a lot of time in reading docs. So now I don't have to read the docs thanks to you. That was your impact.
Oh, God.
No, you still have to read the docs. Please read the docs.
Yes,
I will read the docs for Solid and for Astro. After I finish the implementation, we found that external links was unused. this is the implementation for image assets with labeled image beta. Notice this is a
By the way, you could also use picture if you prefer picture, and then you can define more. Well, you can define different image. How do you call it? Not both sizes, but also formats. So if you want to use AVIF or WebP, you could do all of that.
Sure. I don't, but I recognize that it's actually a really nice feature that one can. Yeah. Thanks for the solid tip. I just had missed in the docs because I didn't read them thoroughly that you can call it initial something, and that's just is missed in the lint message. That's just the rename. Oh yeah, this was the typings that Astro Check found. Thank you for that. This was just me setting it up. I think I did read the docs to set this up. I just read an old version of the docs and then never updated. Yeah, this was like Astro 1 or 2 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and then locally I haven't pushed this yet. I'm just gonna images. We saw that there was some weird shenanigan with state.
But we fixed it eventually.
List. Yeah. Shout out Danny in the chat. Cool. Yeah, is there anything else we should talk about or look at? Wolverine on the soda cup. It looks like
there's a Wolverine here. I'm just bringing in for Atila. If Atila's on stream, there's going to be a Wolverine sometimes.
We have Simon Cowell, Wolverine, and what are you, Daniel?
He doesn't want to be Captain America.
I'm Batman.
No, but he is Captain America. He has Mjolnir.
No, I'm Batman.
Dude has he has his entire right arm covered in the entire Batman.
I don't like Batman.
Family. He has a Spider-Man the size of a watermelon in his right leg, and we're calling him Captain America.
Exactly.
Okay.
See,
that makes sense.
That's hypocrisy or something like that. But I have a Mjolnir, so that thing is fair. That point is fair.
Guys, I gotta go now because it's bedtime for the kids.
I love the last
Yes,
that was weird.
With the glasses on, that was a bit weird, but sure.
But they're not on this room.
Yeah. You looked like you were about to tell them that Santa Claus isn't real or something. You really, really dreadful.
Wait, it is real.
It's real.
It is. It is.
What do you mean Santa Claus is not real?
It was a joke. I'm funny.
Okay. Why would you joke with that?
You may not know this. But no, thank you guys. This is really great. And let's go in reverse alphabetical order by first name. Where can the rest of the internet reach you after the stream?
So it's you first.
Yeah, we were waiting on you.
Oh shit!
Wait yourself.
I'm Joshua K. Goldberg on Twitter. My Mastodon server is Fassadon, BlueSky.com, Twitch, and YouTube. I will note that I'm cutting back on my Twitch streams to no longer be regular because these are tiring and I don't have time for them. These does not include streams with guests because this is very fun for me. So yeah, find me as Joshua K. Goldberg on things. And thanks, Danny. I'll miss hanging out with you too. But we can still talk sometime, as friends. Elian, go.
Friends.
I'm Elian. You can find me everywhere under the name Elian Codes. I'll put my website in chat. And of course, you can also find me on Twitter, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Threads, even all of it. You can find mostly go via my website and you'll probably get there. That's it.
Okay. I'm next, right? Yes.
You are.
Yeah, you can find me anywhere with the handle Daniel JC Afonso. So Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, LinkedIn, pretty much most social media you can find me by that handle. So, and you can find me on the Solid.js Discord as well. If you hop on sometimes to chat with me and Atila.
And I'm Atila.io with any social media shortcut there because, naming things are hard and I switch usernames. So you can put /X, /LinkedIn, /YouTube, /
You can do that on my website too.
Blue Sky, /Mastodon, / what else? Orkut? No, Orkut I don't have anymore.
What is Orkut? What's that? MySpace?
Elian is showing his age now.
No,
shit.
But I don't think it was that popular in Europe. So that's why.
That's it.
Okay.
Even in Portugal, we didn't use your Orkut.
Oh, right. You told me about it. The local weird thing. Yes.
Not local. It was from Google, man.
Was it from Google? Ooh.
Yeah,
Well,
it
local
was.
as in local popularity.
It was what Google Plus killed. But anyway,
We have the same haircut.
Yeah,
We
where
do.
would one get? Who's your
It's a
barber?
Portuguese
Singer?
I
thing.
actually don't have a haircut right now. I should have done a haircut earlier this week, but I was too lazy.
Kevin, you should go for my haircut.
that would be cool. I think we should all go for your haircut.
Yes, exactly.
How long
and
have you not cut your hair though?
8 years?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man. If my hair would start like, I don't know, like the word, my brain is not
Wow.
translating.
Yeah, the tip the last tip of his hair is actually older than my kids. So
Yeah.
Oh, and a fun
This
fact I just
piece.
remembered. If you want to find all of us in person, we're going to be in CDJS in London in the beginning of April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Woo.
just remembered about that because we're gonna hang out, and I'm super happy for that.
Yes, I'm
I'm
super
gonna
excited.
eat so many
about that.
beans the day before. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna hide all the cats in London so that Josh doesn't get lost.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we're going to good pubs. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't get
Sticky toffee
disappointed.
pudding. All right. Well, we're gonna stop talking now in
Yes.
public.
I need
But
to
this was
watch the
fun.
video that
In public.
Danny
In
sent
public.
now.
All right. I'm switching the button. Thanks, y'all. This was fun. Bye.
Ciao.
Shouldn't we
Oh wait,
raid
shit.
someone?
Hang on. Oh shit, we should raid someone. Hang on. Let me find someone to raid. I just remembered. Matteo Kalina. Let's raid him.
Oh,
I hate
Ooh,
it
the
takes
guy
10
from
seconds
Kenya,
to
right?
raid and I
No,
only
from Load.
ever
You want to remember like right as it's still
Yeah.
just finishing.
and we're
Yeah.
gone. Bye.
Yo.